All right, let's get going, everyone. Oops, I gotta start our presentation. Here we go. Perfect. Let's get rocking and rolling. Apologies about that. So, thank everyone for their time today. As we said, this presentation is being recorded. This will be sent over to everyone. So if you have questions and comments, please, like I said, save them to the end. We do have a Q&A session that we are very excited for at the end of this. And then we also have 15 and 30-minute slots after this to sign up for additional conversation, strategy consults, and all of that good stuff for us. A little bit about us. Who are we? First off, my name is Lorenzo Johnson. I am one of the partners at Socially In, a social media agency. We are a full service social media agency located in the United States. We have two offices currently. We have an office in Birmingham, Alabama. We opened up our second office in Atlanta, Georgia. And very excited. Part of what I'll be doing in Los Angeles is opening up our third office here. So we're very excited about that. On a day-to-day basis, my job is to lead our social selling division. That is a series of products and services that primarily leverage LinkedIn as a platform. And it is awesome for our business to business audience. It's awesome for our contractors, our entrepreneurs, our solopreneurs. A little bit about our team. Our team is diverse, collaborative, dedicated, adaptable, highly energetic, and most importantly, we are 100% socially focused. This is who we are. We also own our own production studio. So when you work with an organization like us, we really can help you with everything from strategy to execution. A few different things about us that we do think are important just and why we're here, even here in this space. We have won a number of awards. We have been voted one of the top social media agencies in the country. Actually, as of June, we were voted the 9th best digital marketing agency after a review of over 2,400 by Agency Spotter. So even though we think that we do great things, more importantly, our clients in the industry also feel that we do great things. We have some awesome agency partnerships, being a Facebook preferred agency partner, a Google partner. We were one of TikTok's first 300 agency partners and marketing partners. The reason I share these things with you all is because it's partnerships like this that have really leveraged our expertise to help us bring the information that we are going to be bringing to you all today. These are not things that are theory to us. These are not just concepts to us. Everything we are going to talk about today is tried, it's true, and it's practice. And it's practiced and verified by some of the largest organizations in the game. And yes, we are also a LinkedIn partner. A few clients, we work with both small and larger organizations. Fortune 500 companies are a great space for us, but also smaller companies, folks that are just growing, that are just starting up. We are truly equipped to help all of those companies. We are international. We have a strong footprint in countries such as Canada, countries such as the UK, and we have bandwidth and clients that stretch all the way over to India, to Japan. So again, we're equipped to also work with a number of the different folks on this call. That's why I was very excited when I was seeing the Germany and some of these other things right here. And then our business to business experience. About 40% of our business is business to business. So a lot of times people think social media, they think B2C, B2C, B2C. However, we have a strong footprint in the space that you all are as well. And just wanted to let you guys know that, again, we're not speaking from theory and concept. We are going to be talking today from practices that we have spent with brands that are very large and recognizable. Today, We are going to be doing two parts. The first part is I am going to be going through a workshop and a presentation on how we can leverage social media as a true business tool. Again, some things are going to be great for day to day. Other things you may have to take a step back, sit down, meet with your marketing team, meet with your business development team, and really figure out how, as a corporate brand, you can also be social selling. And then we're going to get into some questions and answers. So please, like I said, take notes. If you have questions, we are going to have ample time to go through that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. Social selling. What is social selling? What is social selling? Social selling is one of these terms that has put out there all over the place now. It's all of a sudden, you can't really Google LinkedIn and you can't really go through social media business development without hearing this term, social selling. One of the things that we like to say on its simplest form when we're talking about social selling is social is not a place for a hard sell. It's a place to build trust and credibility. One of the things I want everyone to write down is you have to earn the right to sell to people via social media. Again, you have to earn the right to sell to people via social media. It is a place that it's great to nurture relationships. But one of the biggest mistakes that we see is that people don't earn that right to sell. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today is how can we earn that right? How can we do it the proper way? When we think about social media and social selling, there's a few things that really come to mind with us. The first thing, and when we're talking about what are some of the big problems in the social selling space? People don't know how to properly utilize all of the functionality. Sales reps don't know the right activities. Sales reps just don't have the time. Or if you're like myself, you would just simply rather be out selling. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today is what are ways that you can do it on your behalf? What are ways that you could leverage another company or even internally do it on your behalf? Ways that you can help support your sales rep, ways that you can help support your team. Social selling is the process of developing relationships as a part of the sales process through social media. It is the art of using social media to find, to connect, to understand, and to nurture sales prospects. Social selling is a process, you guys. Social selling is not a one-time achievement. It's a consistent process. It's also the modern and new way that relationships are being developed. One of the things that everyone on this call is going through, even though we're across the world, that we all have in common, is we are currently going through this pandemic that over the past 2 years has truly shaped, and I mean absolutely shaped and changed how we think about prospecting, networking, business development, all of that. So the idea of social selling is how can we create a relationship? How can we nurture and how can we engage so that by the time our prospects are ready to buy, we become the first things? That's what we are aiming for. How can we be the first people that they are ready? Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry, I didn't mean to stop sharing. How can we be the first person on their mind when they are ready to buy? That is the goal of a successful social selling process. There's 9 steps. There are 9 steps when it comes to social selling. Number 1, develop a strategy. Number 2, find and connect with prospects. Number 3, begin establishing yourself as an industry expert. Number 4, leverage customer relationships. Number 5, earning referrals, recommendations, and endorsements. Another note, referrals. Referrals. So many people don't leverage social media to get referrals from their current clients. Referrals. It's a great way to generate business. It's a great way to take the hard work you've already done and generate additional business as a result of it. Number six, we want to keep our leads warm. Just because you engage and somebody doesn't buy, how are you keeping them in your ecosystem? How are you re-engaging with them again? Number seven, stay top of mind. And number eight, engaging with our prospects and our customers. If we consistently do these eight things, we are consistently executing a social strategy. What is social selling for, you guys? It's to open a conversation, to show value, build a rapport, create trust, create credibility, provide info on your product. What it's not for is going in for the hard sell, immediately asking to get on a call, spamming. All of these things, everyone on this call, I'm sure, if they go back to their LinkedIn and look at their DMs and things, I'm sure we've all been turned off by people who have approached us this way. Just like I'm sure we all have bought or purchased, whether there was a service or a product via social media. And if we take a step back and think about what was provided to us that made that conversation and made us even want to have that discussion, I'm sure we can find elements of these five things. So again, from social selling, that needs to be the goal. The goal of social selling is not to just make a sale. The reason I keep reiterating that is because when people think that's the goal, they miss the beautiful part of the relationship building, the prospect building, and the pipeline building. That, when done properly, will create a platform and a pipeline that will consistently lead to sales. Why social selling? It is the place, and LinkedIn is the platform that we all need to be in. I don't know if you all know this, but did you all know that LinkedIn has over 600 million members? Here's what's crazier about that number. 31% of business-to-business professionals said that social selling on LinkedIn allowed them to also build deeper relationships with their clients. 45% of social sellers created more opportunity, and 51% of social sellers are more likely to reach their quota when leveraging this. So no, it is a results-oriented platform when done correctly, when done appropriately. How can it benefit you? Position you as a thought leader. Generate and warm up your leads. Allows you to stay top of mind. You can grow your pipeline. Gain insights into what prospects like. And you can expedite the research. And we are going to talk through all different actual tactics for all 6 of these things. We went through some of those stats, but I provided a couple other ones that I think that are just so telling for why this webinar is very important and why you all should take this so serious. 76% of buyers are ready to have a social media conversation. 76% of buyers are ready to have a social media conversation with potential providers. People want to buy from you. Unlike Facebook and other platforms, LinkedIn, people get on LinkedIn expecting to both buy and to be sold and to sell. That's an expectation. Let's take advantage of that. We've mentioned that 31% of B2B professionals say that social selling has allowed them to build deeper relationships. And 62% of buyers responded to salespeople who connect with them to share insights. I don't know anybody who's using or if anyone's using automation, LinkedIn automation, for example, on here, on this call. What's your reply rate? Is it 62%? Here's a better question. How would you all like it if you knew that 62% of your prospects would respond to you? How awesome would that be? A few more stats as we're going. 81% of buyers use social media to research purchases. Again, not websites, social media, and evaluate their brand. 72% of buyers use social media to research before they make a purchase. They look up that product. They're checking references. 81% are more likely to engage with a strong professional brand. Do you think that having a properly branded and updated corporate LinkedIn page can help add to the opinion and the perception of having a strong brand? If you don't, how do you think if somebody went to your company page and you didn't have a company logo or a different company page, do you think that would add, or you think that would lessen the perception of the value that you bring? Let's consider that. It all starts with listening. If you don't find those opportunities, being able to execute on those opportunities is irrelevant. Just because LinkedIn can help you find your ideal people doesn't mean that we forego the whole sales process of discovery, asking questions, analyzing, listening. We're going to switch. We stayed very conceptual there. Let's get down in the nitty gritty. What are some tactics that every single person, whether you are a sales rep, a C-level exec, a CEO, whether your company hasn't started yet, whether you're $15 million company or 150, what are things that you and your employees and your brand need to be doing consistently? You need to add people to your network. That needs to be consistent. It needs to be strategic. It does not need to just be adding everyone. Questions to consider. Who can provide value to me? An even better question. Who can I connect with that can provide value to my prospects and customers? That's how you create an awesome social networking platform and space that is so valuable that people come to you to get research. They come to you because you're that thought leader. It's called a profile view strategy. People may not know what that is. LinkedIn actually lets people know whenever you look at their page. When done strategically and appropriately, you can absolutely exponentially increase the amount of views on your profiles by appropriately executing a profile view strategy. Are you engaging on other people's posts? How can you expect other people to engage on yours if you don't engage on other people's? Are you creating lead lists? Did you know that when you create lead lists in LinkedIn, that they're organic? And what I mean by that is that LinkedIn actually automatically adds to your list without you doing anything. So as you start to connect and as you start to engage with people on LinkedIn, as other individuals fit the parameters of your lead list, LinkedIn will automatically update your prospects for you. These are ways to make your life smarter, not harder. Are you direct messaging connections? Yes, corporate ads are great. Are you taking this conversation offline and saying, hey, I'm the executive of this company. I'm personally reaching out to you and want to have a conversation about partnership and connection. Are you endorsing people? Are you the people that you view as being an expert, the people that you view as being a thought leader, the third-party resources that you're leveraging? Are you endorsing those people? The beautiful thing about social media, you guys, is you get what you give. You get what you give. Don't be afraid to give out everything that you would ask somebody else to engage and give to you. And are you sharing valuable content? It needs to be a combination. First-party valuable content, the blog that your company wrote, but also third-party, the industry experts. Who's the Forbes in your space? Share this content. Make your page, whether it's your corporate or your personal page, make your page something that people want to go to. People don't the way I always like to describe to people is, do you feel like people get that icky feeling when they go to your page, that they just feel like all you're going to do is keep trying to sell them? Or are you truly providing value? Why is this conversation important, you guys? The key to digital transformation is re envisioning and driving change in how the company operates. That's a management and a people challenge, not just a technology one. I can't agree with that more. Social selling is a corporate decision that everyone from your admin to your CEO needs to be bought in. And we're going to get into that. This isn't just a salesperson. I can promise you the best campaigns that we work with LinkedIn, their corporate page, their corporate brand is just as bought into the success as all of the individual profiles that we're using. And this won't be easy, you guys. If you all on this call want to properly social sell, it is going to require potential disruption in your organization. It is going to require change within your organization. It may require massive adjustments or restructuring. But I have a question. Is the cost of not being ahead of the curve, is that a harder cost than what happens if you choose not to innovate? Then what happens if you continue to be traditional and not miss out on this opportunity that social media is providing? Is that worse? Traditional methods are losing their effectiveness, you guys. The old adage, listen to this research. We used to be taught, I was a sales and executive leadership coach. We taught people for years, and I'm sure a number of people on this have heard, that the appropriate amount of touch points is 7 to 12 touch points a month. That equals 2 to 3 touch points per week over a 30-day period. And I'm sure most people have even heard that 90% of salespeople actually don't even go above steps 3 or 4. Here's what's even crazier. Research shows that coming out of the pandemic, so this is going into the second part of this year, it is going to take an average of 30 touch points. 30 touch points. How are you and your business pivoting to that? How? Again, adapting is thriving. As things change, your brand has to adapt. Brands who adapt thrive. Successful social selling. It's going to impact the entire buyer's journey, not just that sales call. That's why everyone has to be bought in. True social selling requires the sales, the marketing, the admin, and the operations to work together. Let's continue talking about the value and why. Why? It's the new norm. We've talked again, a lot of conceptual, and we went to the day-to-day, but these conversations, I think, are cemented by the numbers, We've brought together 3 awesome case studies. We did ADP and PayPal are 2 that I want to discuss with you. As far as what is the value? 2 things. PayPal wanted to do a number of things. They wanted to identify key decision makers. They wanted to manage multiple stakeholders across their prospect's company. Basically, PayPal does what's called account-based marketing. So they know exactly who they're going after. And then they have basically a very strategic approach to go after every level in that company, from admin to executive to sales to marketing. As you can imagine, it's PayPal. Their sales process is lengthy. How do you continue to nurture and engage? How do you connect with those decision makers? How can you use social networking to map out the committee? How can you identify more points of contact? How can you run multiple deals? And PayPal did this leveraging LinkedIn. They were able to book meetings where colleagues already have worked with them. They were able to leverage mutual connections. Oops. So sorry. They were able to leverage mutual connections. Another one we did, ADP. They wanted to, how do we get increased qualified leads? Our salespeople, how do we increase their productivity? Generating numbers in sales. How do we align our marketing and our sales? How do we automate our lead nurturing? Some of the same challenges that you all are here. And in their project with LinkedIn, leads worked increased by 21%. The win rate increased by 103%. How many people on this call, your business would change if you were just able to win more leads? If you were able to generate the same amount that you had before, but if you could increase your win rate 100%, your business would change. Their total deals increased from 26 to 48%. Revenue increased almost 50%. These are results. And this is actually, we're going to keep on rolling. I pulled some of these statistics already for us. And then as we're wrapping up the conversation of who owns social selling, we just talked through how it's an entire organizational cause. We brought two case studies specifically that for two organizations that did that extremely well that we want to highlight. The first one is Pitney Bowes. They're a global tech company. They have over 1.5 million clients, you guys. As one of the world's top 100 software providers, they still felt they had low brand recognition. How did they know that? Well, every time their salespeople would reach out, contacts were still cold. Outbound marketing continued to be less effective. So what did we do? Implementing broader marketing activity from a corporate standpoint on LinkedIn that supported what their individual sales teams would be doing on LinkedIn. Now they leverage another tool called Sales Navigator, which we are going to go through, to generate those warm connections. Results: awareness was raised, faster sales cycle, and over 18 plus deals directly through LinkedIn. One last one is Oracle. Again, these are large companies leveraging these strategies, you guys. Oracle is a cloud and data center company. They have over 400,000 customers across the world. How do they connect with their buyers? Generating their lead lists. Again, account-based marketing. Sales cycle is so long. They were able to do the exact same thing, leveraging LinkedIn's tool, empower their marketing, create warm introductions, better relationship. And when done properly, it resulted in a 30% increase in engagement, sales cycle shortened by 20%. All of the business-to-business people in here, how much would your business change if the sales cycle went from 6 months to 3 months? How about even from 6 months to 4 months, from 3 months to 2 months? Social media can change that, you all. Continually operationalizing social selling. A couple key things I want us to remember when it comes to truly operationalizing social selling. Because what I just presented can come off as daunting. We've even acknowledged it. It may take a massive overhaul. But what are some things that you can keep in mind as you're starting that process of pivoting, transforming? Number one, stay authentic. Stay authentic. Here at Socially In, we have a saying where we say, we don't say think outside the box, we say make the box bigger. Don't think outside the box, make your box bigger. Stay authentic. Encourage complete and continuously optimized social profiles and pages. Be efficient and effective. Be consistent. There's 4 things that are very important as far as metrics and data points and data sets that you all should start to consider when you're really starting to instill this social selling culture. Number 1, the beautiful thing about LinkedIn is it actually provides what is called a social selling index. If anyone is interested in how to find their social selling index, because I promise you, if you have a LinkedIn profile, you have it, so does your company. Let's chat after. Let's go ahead and set up a meeting. Let's see what LinkedIn is telling you so we know how we can pivot, how we can adjust, how we can start to promote, push out articles and content. Number 2, remember, it's in the culture. We have another term that we say, and it is inspect what you expect. Inspect what you expect. If you do not inspect these changes, your expectations won't matter. So what are some practical things? What do we mean by that? If your brand is serious about leveraging social selling, and you have a conversation with your salespeople about sharing articles that you guys are going to be pushing out, are your sales managers inspecting and making sure that people are actually doing that and posting on LinkedIn and sharing those? Inspect what you expect. Create a culture that social selling is expected. Number 3, are your profiles optimized? I can't tell you how many people we work with where you look at their company pages and 5 different people have 5 different versions of the logo. How do you think that makes it look for your branding? Being consistent. Leveraging Sales Navigator. Please write that down. If you do not, and if you have never played with Sales Navigator, that needs to be one of your most actionable takeaways from here. Would love to walk you through how to do it. The beautiful thing is LinkedIn gives you your first 30 days free. But every single business to business salesperson, executive person on this call needs to have Sales Navigator. Also, we do not get a kickback from LinkedIn for their Sales Navigator, so I promise you I'm not stating that because we make anything off of it. It is that crucial and that critical of a service. And then have a plan to learn, optimize, duplicate, and repeat. We wanted to go through, we work with a lot of case studies. There was another one called Informatica. Just by leveraging her Sales Navigator, sales grew 300%. Her SSI score grew from 55 to 78. All of those things as a result of the things that we have discussed today. This is a quick snapshot of what it looks like. Like I said, we can go through and have a conversation. It'll have a whole conversation about how is your brand established? Do you find the right people? Are you engaging? Are you sharing? It'll let you know, how do you rank in your industry? How do you rank in your current network? It's relative to people who matter to you. Awesome, awesome metric, awesome baseline. We're not going to get back into some day-to-day things. Again, I told you guys, this is going to be a combination of conceptual and theory things that you need to think on, but also some immediate. What's your guys' profile picture look like? Does your profile picture reflect the industry that you serve? Perfect example. We had a client that we were working with that wanted to do wealth management, and he wanted to go after high net worth individuals. The gentleman had a t-shirt in his profile picture. One of the recommendations we had is maybe he should suit it up a little bit. One of the things you have to remember, your profile is a snapshot. You can lose people just with that snapshot. Depending on your industry, you have to convey your level of professionalism, your level of expertise. What does your profile picture look like? Is it low quality? Is it current? That's another one. It needs to be current. Your picture does not need to be 15 years old. It needs to be current. Do you have a cover photo? It's one of the first things that people see. Do you have a cover photo? And it doesn't have to be work. I encourage people this. This is another great place to show off your personal interests, your personal hobbies, and your personal passions. Great place for it. What's your headline look like? Remember, this is not just your title. What do you do? What do you do? It's short, to the point, but it needs to be creative and inspirational. Remember, people only get a quick snapshot. Your about section. Is it up to date? Is it optimized? Focus on the value that you provide, not the products that you sell. What's the value? Why? This is the time to be fun, be creative. Optimize your LinkedIn URL. How many people on this call is LinkedIn right now? Their URL is linkedin.com/n/567812334. Did you know that you can customize it? Did you know you can make it your name? Did you know you can make it your business? Imagine how much easier it is now to send when you're talking to someone. You can tell them, hey, just go to linkedin.com/socially and check us out. Optimize your profile, make it easy. Again, the consistency of brand. I hope that you guys are catching some similar conversations and tactics and strategies that we keep reiterating throughout today's call. Update your achievements and your experience and achievements. What have you done? Emphasize your customer value, diploma, certifications. Trust. For certain industries, this is critical. Critical. So again, these are some of the day-to-day things that your profile should be individually optimized that reflects the operationalizing and the corporate changes in the market and the larger brands. Again, you guys, this is a full story that's being told here. In order to social sell, it's a combination of professional and corporate. We keep talking about that. We're going to keep stressing that. We've mentioned this LinkedIn Sales Navigator thing. I gotta spend some time in it. When you guys see the things that you can do, you're all, if you do not have this, you're going to be like, I can't believe that I've never used this. Gentlemen from ADP, in sales, it is extremely difficult to find the right contacts to have key conversations with. How many people have said that before? Yeah. Since I started using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I've been able to identify the key players on an account, allowed me to be more strategic in my territory planning. It's increased my number of executive meetings, but because I'm having conversations with the right people, I've decreased the amount of time it takes to close a deal. In the very beginning of the call, I asked who has niche clients, and you raised your hand. All of the people who raised their hand, if you do not have that, that needs to be your immediate action item. It is awesome. And I mean, it is awesome. Few things I'm going to quickly go through here. I wanted to make sure I provided you guys with a ton of information of why. They have search filters that are premium based upon personal and organizational. So not only just geography and sector, company size, company revenue, are they related to you? Titles. How about this, you guys? What if I told you that you can actually target people and companies that use certain technologies and CRM such as Salesforce or a HubSpot, or they just use certain technology pieces? What if I told you everybody that's in marketing and sales that you can actually identify people who've lost a certain amount of people in their department headcount, such as marketing and sales and advertising? What about all you web developers that I tell you that you can go to and look up a company's IT department and see if they've lost 50% of their IT department in the past year? And then maybe you can reach out to them and say, hey, before you go back and have to hire 5 and 6 more people, why don't you talk to our firm and see how we can take the work of 5 or 6 people? You guys, the nicheness, the specificity is absolutely mind-boggling. What if I told you that you can find and target people based upon the groups they are in, based upon who they follow? What if I told you based upon their volunteer experience, endorsements they have, not just their job title? What if I told you that it automatically updates? So you can have it set up where it'll continue to send you like people. All leads automatically flow. What if I told you that LinkedIn can set it up where they will send you an email that lets you know that Lorenzo Johnson from Socially In is now a new target that they recommend that you get in front of because it looks like all the other people that you've been targeting as of late? What if I told you we can do all of those things? That's what LinkedIn Navigator can do for us. Consistent engagement is key. Like I said, the fact that your saved leads, you're alerted to changes. You alert when they change jobs. What if I told you that you can actually import your CRM? What if I told you you could export contact information and put them into an email campaign? You guys, Sales Navigator is a tool we have to learn to take advantage of. Highland Software, another tech company, one thing that they were struggling with is they just had to do massive cold calling and emailing to build new business. But now I can execute extremely granular queries quickly to find the right people without having to search on my own through webs, buy additional sources. JLL Real Estate, one of the largest real estate companies in the entire world, talks about how Sales Nav takes LinkedIn to the next level. What if I told you guys that a lot of people, especially the higher position folks on LinkedIn, you can't even find them because their profiles are private. And unless you have Sales Navigator, you will literally never have access to them. What if I told you that's why you can't find a lot of those niche people that you're trying to go after and find? Their profiles are on private, and you need a tool like this to do it. This is why the knowledge that comes, gaining insights, the efficiencies, all towards an extremely targeted and niche audience. LinkedIn Navigator shines a beacon of light through the fog so that I can quickly and easily connect to the right person to close more deals quicker. And that's what it's about. Working smarter, not harder. Again, few things. I'm going to keep reiterating it and going full circle because it's important. Just because you can find the people, what have you done to establish that trust? Ask yourself the question, would you want to connect and engage with you? And be honest with yourself. Leverage the connections, leverage your referrals, use InMail when appropriate. Trust. Even though we can find the right people, what are we doing to show them that we trust? What are we doing to earn our right to sell them? A few quick things to help with that trust. Again, I told you I'm going to keep giving you actionable things. Make sure the people that you're going after are your right people. They're truly your target audiences. Why don't you actually request introductions using referrals? Why don't you actually reach out to mutual connections and ask your mutual connections if they can be the person that introduces you? What if you can be strategic with what you're posting and leveraging that with the people you're engaging so you can drive them back to it? What if you took the time to do a little bit of research before you ever reached out to somebody? I know that's just a novel idea, isn't it? Identifying problems or potential pain before you just start talking and asking for a meeting. What if you're monitoring their pages and profiles? What if you're actually being intentional about your prospecting? And when you reach out to the director of marketing, you can also speak to one of the articles that the vice president of marketing posted on their LinkedIn the other day. What about all of these day-to-day tactics? If you're in the marketing team, what are some things that you can do to help your people and their prospects and in their engaging? Have you thought about helping to create buyer personas? Make it easy for your sales team to create their lists. Does your team have content that can be shared? Is there a plan for content that can be shared? Is there a plan for the company to be even seen as a thought leader before you go out and tell your sales reps that your company is a thought leader? Can you make a social group? Can your company truly make themselves as being that expert? Groups, reaching out to them. These are just some basic things, small things that the marketing team can do to also help follow up on all of these things that the sales team is going to be doing. Again, social selling, you all, is an organizational or truly organizational feat. It's not a one-person feat. It is not a sales team feat. They need to be empowered to have the intelligent conversations. Help them identify what groups you guys are going to target. Provide the content like we've mentioned. Are there any templates? Are there messaging templates you could help create? Tweets that you could help? Hashtags that you could help? Integrate your marketing system into the sales system. They're not supposed to be separate. And in social selling, they can't. They can't. How can you help your prospects frequently and efficiently interact with your company? And that means by default through your sales team. Last thing, or a couple of, I'm so sorry for as far as marketing, tracking conversations. Everything we just talked about is only as good as the data that comes out of it and then the pivots that are made. How are you going to track these changes? Social media, you can track it, follow your prospects, analyze what they're doing. LinkedIn has something called smart links. What if I told you that every correspondence that you ever send through LinkedIn, LinkedIn can provide you a report on how often something was clicked, when it was open. If you send a presentation through LinkedIn, LinkedIn can tell you how often they spent on each slide, when they got off of the slide, how much of a video they watched. Implement smart tracking. Data, we need data to help make better decisions in the future. As we're wrapping up in our last 9 minutes, making social selling the new normal. It's happening quick. It's going to require disruption, but social selling is the new normal, you all. A lot of places in the United States are shutting back down. Around the world, it's getting back like that. We don't know when things are going to quote unquote get back to the normal of 2 years ago, or if it ever is. So, what are we going to do to pivot? And I promise you, some of these changes are here to stay. I am going to forego this last case study because I know we've went through a lot, and I want to make sure there's just one more piece of content before we get to our Q&A. Some key takeaways. As more and more business to business selling goes social, the most successful sales professionals have evolved their sales strategy by leveraging the myriad of opportunities available to them via LinkedIn. Social selling has unlocked a world of possibilities to sales teams facing our business to business buyers who are closing the door on cold calls and relying on social media to steer their buying decisions. Daily activities are important. Optimized profile is important. Sales Navigator is important as well. Since we do have a couple of seconds, I will go through these in our last 2 minutes. Last two case studies. A community called Community Cares. It's a Spanish content form, actually. An IP communication, very technical company. Awesome new technology that they're rolling out. All tech companies, you guys should kind of check them out. They got some really cool things. But here's the thing that they were struggling with. Their assisting approach was buying leads, buying databases, cold calling them. A lot of us have been in that space on this call. We buy a database, we sign up for a platform, but the lack of quality leads, the outsourced data, that's another issue that's happening now that a lot of platforms, you can't get as much data. What's that quality? The data is getting older, not as up to date. That's caused tension between sales and marketing. Again, so what are some of the things that they can do? Well, they leveraged LinkedIn and they leveraged Sales Navigator, but they organized the entire team. Again, this wasn't just a sales or just a marketing. It led to a completely new way of generating and following up on leads. Morale increased, new opportunities increased, and LinkedIn continuously spearheads 2 to 3 strong leads a week. You guys, how many people on this call would love to have 2 to 3 strong leads per week and have their current conversion rate by 20? That's what this platform, and that's what we can help do. Last one, we talk about value. A lot of people say, well, Lorenzo, I want the leads. I understand all those things, but we need the money. Well, I'm here to tell you that when it's done appropriately, value needs to always come first. NetApp is another client that we have. We spent an entire year before we started selling people. We spent an entire year where all we did is strategically connect, post articles and send, view profiles, and specifically engage. 22,000 key people across the country in very important organizations. We spent an entire year nurturing those relationships before we went in to ask for meetings and get the close. Sometimes it can take that. But now we're working with this company for a 3rd year because Now we continue to just kill it. And they continue, not even we, they continue to kill it because of all of the work that they put in at the beginning of a foundation to properly do this. As we are wrapping up, I am just going to quickly go through some of the LinkedIn services that we offer, and then we are going to get into Q&A just so you all have an idea of it. We do offer an automation software. It is a proprietary piece of technology. It connects and syncs directly with LinkedIn. It's really cool. You can also import your CRM. It automates both the connection requests as well as the messages. And the really cool thing is we could run automated messages campaigns to your current contacts. We don't need to only do this to our new people. We also have volume discounts as far as enterprise sales and things like that. We have a trademark service called a social selling assistant. This is an actual live person that will spend 3 to 4 hours a week managing your LinkedIn. It is a custom service. It is awesome. Reporting is weekly. Meetings are also weekly, and the scope can be changed every single week. You can buy what is called a bundle. You can buy the assistant and you can buy the automation software. We do offer our version of done for you and appointment setting. Our team's goal is to provide 3 to 5 high quality leads or set appointments per week. 3 to 5 leads and set appointments per week. Last but not least, we offer, not last but not least, almost, we offer executive profile management. The biggest difference between what we just discussed is that we will actually produce content for executives. We will produce 1 blog, 4 LinkedIn specific graphics, and a short form video. Awesome, awesome. Last but not least, we do custom LinkedIn corporate page, campaign, and ad management. We also do social selling workshops like this that are customized for sales and enterprise team. It also includes a 70-page social selling workbook. It is awesome. If you have any conversations about everything that we've talked to today, let's go ahead and book a free consult. As I've mentioned here, we are going to do Q&A from 1 to 1:30. And then from 1:30 to 5 Pacific, we do have 15 and 30-minute time blocks for anybody who would like to talk today. Other than that, at the end of our call session, I will be sending out a meeting link. I will be sending out the recording of this, and we look forward to having as many conversations, questions, custom strategies. This is literally what we do for LinkedIn, social media, and all of that. Last but not least, for everyone on this call, we will have these specials that will go through end of the week. We are doing buy 3 months, get 1 month free. The way essentially that will work is we will basically give you 4 months worth of business for the price of 3. We'll just split that price up. We are offering a free LinkedIn Sales Navigator subscription for everyone on this call. And last but not least, every 3rd Tuesday, so we actually did one this morning, we actually do a sharpening your social selling skills via LinkedIn workshop. You will get exclusive access to that as well. My email is lorenzo@sociallyin.com. My cell phone number is 517-490-8135. If anyone has questions, I do appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you so much for everyone who was able to stay. If you do, like I said, have questions or concerns and you cannot make our Q&A, please reach out to me via email. I will also be sending my meeting link and this recording over so you could respond to that. And everyone else, we are going to just take a 30-second break, not even that, and we are going to quickly pivot into our Q&A. I am going to keep this screen up so people can have it, and I'm going to start with the chat and Q&A, and we are going to roll for the foreseeable future. So give me a second if you all don't mind. Let me digest these questions, and we can get rocking. All right. It's going to go in order for this. Do you work for startups? Do you have special prices for startups? And send me a proposal after. Claudia, let's talk. Please send me an email, Claudia. Actually, what else I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and put my meeting link directly into the chat so that people can start to grab those spaces also. But Claudia, ma'am, please reach out to me. I want to ask a few more questions to you. Here we go. Okay, Claudia, please reach out to me. Oops, sorry, I can't get to the questions. Here we go, Q&A. All right. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so yes, Claudia, so yes, ma'am, we can talk some special pricing for you. Please send me a follow-up, and yes, ma'am, I can get you a proposal. Okay, let me go to Q&A. How can LinkedIn be used to reach angel investors and venture capitalists? Well, the first thing, and this is going to be very exciting, Sales Navigator is going to be your favorite tool on there. There is actually specific filters for both of those. You can also leverage what are called groups. So one of the really cool things is LinkedIn has some super tech groups or some super cool specific groups. Angel investors and venture capitalists are one of the most widely used proponents of those groups. So the great thing is there are actually a number of different ways that LinkedIn can be used to reach angel investors and venture capitalists. It came through as anonymous. So please reach out to me and I can literally set up a call. We can literally pop into your LinkedIn and I can show you exactly how to build it. And if you don't have Navigator, we can play with mine and I can show you. So whoever the anonymous attendee that wants to learn about reaching angel investors, let's go ahead and set up a call and I can literally show you exactly how to walk through and some of the cool ways to do it. What is the automation software you provide? Is it SaaS solution that integrates into LinkedIn? Can you explain why a company would use your automation solution versus one offered by others that integrate into LinkedIn? So yes, a few things. Yes, it is a SaaS solution that integrates into LinkedIn. It's really cool because one of the things you'll know is that your regular Sales Navigator and LinkedIn actually have two different inboxes. So that can be kind of frustrating. So when you actually, one of the really cool things about our platform is it actually integrates all of your inboxes. It operates like a CRM and it actually imports into your CRM. So you literally can use just our dashboard and do all of your messaging to people on LinkedIn. You can take notes, you can export them, you can call them, you can literally use our platform to manage your entire LinkedIn campaign. It is awesome. One other really big difference between ours and some of the other ones is that not every profile can automate messages towards your current connections. That's a really big deal. We call it nurture. So me and you, we can actually run a campaign to anybody that you're already a LinkedIn connection with. I would also say that our expertise, we're a full service social media agency. So LinkedIn is one of the things we do, and automation is just one of the things on LinkedIn. One thing I found, and we do this because we offer white label versions also, there are a ton of people who bought an automation company for LinkedIn because it was cheap and they thought they can make some money, but they do it very terribly. So we are not one of those companies. We are a 10-year-old social media company. So we're also not going anywhere. Last thing is that we actually use copywriters to write your copy. So the same copywriters who work on Dick's Sporting Goods and Samsung, they actually work on your one-to-one messages. Next, how long does it take to get up to speed if there is a sense of urgency? I guess whoever the anonymous attendee that asked that question, could you clarify a little bit? I'm not quite sure what do you mean about get up to speed. Like, are you asking get up to speed with the profile, or what? So if that anonymous attendee could please clarify um, what they mean by get up to speed, that would be helpful. CRM, Carolina, that's a client relation management tool. So basically, think of Salesforce, HubSpot, um, Active Campaign. Basically, it'll be a system that'll hold all of your contacts, your clients, and your prospects. It'll hold their email, their contact information, but then you can also do marketing to them in behalf. But your CRM Carolina is just a place to hold your prospects. Can you work with people all over the world? Yes, we can. We have very strong footprints all over the world. So it's not, so that's not just saying, yes, we would love to, we do it. If We also accept just about every form of currency also. So if you need to pay in a different form of currency, that's completely fine. I'm not sure what realm you are in, but one really cool thing we launched a little bit ago is we can actually do campaigns in French and Spanish, because of the bandwidth and how many clients we have. So yes, we can work all over the world. So let's talk about that. Are the services provided by people in the US or overseas? In the US, Maggie, in the US. Well, let me clarify that. Maggie, we are a fully distributed team. So we do have full-time employers or employees. Don't necessarily think like virtual assistants and types of things like that, but we have full-time people who live in different places like Spain and different things like that. Do you have special pricing if we are in a developing country? Affordability is key. Yes, whoever that anonymous attendee is, please reach out to me. Let's set up a call and let's talk. As an agency, do you have a retainer? No, we do not. We have a service fee depending on what you purchase. The services that we talked about today are priced as is. They do not have a retainer. If you want us to do full service social media, so like manage your ads, your strategy, your production, and different things like that, yes, that would be a service fee, which some people some people call it a retainer. It's a little bit different because there's an actual scope that goes with our service fee. So you're not just retaining us on kind of like a month to month basis. But yes, I can go through and give you more information about that as well. Okay, let me go to here to see if we missed any more chats. What would you recommend if you're a tiny house builder and lifestyle company? Well, Kimberly, I have in order for me to answer that, I'd have a better conversation for you. And it's who are you targeting in that campaign? Because I can see a number of different approaches in a campaign for that. And that'll change my answer. Some pieces of that I can see being useful for LinkedIn. There's other pieces of it that I do think that other platforms may be more appropriate. It's also going to depend on, do you plan on running ads in that campaign by chance, or is it going to be all organic? My opinion will also change based upon that. So Kimberly Patterson Bay, I have an answer for you, but I got some questions for you before I can kind of go into that in more detail. Let's see, I cannot afford a sales navigator right now. What can I do to generate leads using free tools on LinkedIn? So here's the cool thing. LinkedIn does allow you to generate lead list with the free tool. Now, you're not going to be able to get as niche sometimes, depending on how niche you're trying to get. It also doesn't do cool things like it won't live update. So for example, with Sales Navigator, say I want to go after I'll just keep it simple, every chief technology officer in the country that I'm currently, or that I have a mutual connection with. What'll happen with the free paid or with a paid version is every single time I connect with people and a new person that fits that criteria I can get connected with, LinkedIn literally sends me an email that literally says, Lorenzo, we have a new person that's exactly like your target market. So there are some things you can still do. You just can't do as much, or you can't get into the level of granulars that you would want to. Kimberly, B2B and public. So yes, ma'am. From a business to business perspective, there are definitely, I would recommend that you use LinkedIn. There's definitely some really cool groups that you could use on LinkedIn. And because the people that you would be targeting from that. The other community though, I think there's actually some cool opportunities for you to leverage a few other platforms, such as potentially Facebook or maybe even something like TikTok, Kimberly. um, I can see a play depending on the visual of the tiny houses that you're building and things like that, not only because of the audience, but the creative aspect. And I can see running some ads or something like that on like a platform like TikTok could also potentially be strategic. But I definitely see a place for Facebook/Instagram as well, Kimberly. Are there, go back through, answered or dismissed? All right. Okay, here's some more questions. Okay. For your low end option of 1 to 4 seats, if interested in the combined SSA and automation bundle, what is required by my company to be prepared to engage with your agency? JC, it is just the necessity of LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which, as we've already talked through here, my agency will actually take care of that for you. So that is the only thing that we need, JC, is we just need a Sales Navigator. Oh, okay, wait, I didn't see your clarification. I mean, what type of assets are needed to get up to speed quickly? Um, with the beautiful thing is this, we do it all for you. So what'll happen is this is our process. If you move forward with us, we would send you an onboarding survey. Your onboarding survey is going to ask a ton of questions. It'll give me and my copywriting and production team everything that we need essentially from there. Now, what also will happen, JC, is you're going to get assigned your social selling assistant. Now, when you all start working together, they may ask for certain things from your company, based upon the ideas. But no, sir, besides that, we just literally just need your the profiles of people who we're going to work with, and everybody would need to have Sales Navigator. Simple as that. Anonymous, can you serve as a social media arm for our startup? What would the minimum investment be? Anonymous, that's a kind of a loaded question because it's obviously going to depend on your needs. It's going to depend on how many platforms. It's going to depend on, for example, do you want us to run and manage your paid ads? All of those things would change the answer to that. So Anonymous, if you don't mind, could you please shoot me an email and let's go ahead and let me ask some questions and I can get you a quote and a minimum ASAP. But I definitely need at least a little more information to even give you a minimum. Carolina, what are the tools to optimize the profile? Are there a LinkedIn feature or is that a part of your software? Yes, that is a part of that's a part of our software and services. So LinkedIn themselves don't offer like an optimization. I'm confident you can they may have somebody who may not, they probably won't even have somebody who will walk you through. But here's the other thing, Carolina, we will do an optimization for you if you move forward with any of our stuff. So we don't just, if your profile needs updating, we don't just set it live knowing that your profile needs updates. So we will update it. We will optimize it before we update it. So yes, man, we do have the tools. It's not a LinkedIn feature. It is an internal. Maggie, for blog post writers, how do you find writers that have the knowledge of our specific industry? Got you. Well, that depends a few different things. So we have about 50 employees. So the majority of our employees, Maggie, just so you know, there actually is only 2 salespeople on our staff. The rest of our employees are all account managers and social media strategists and things like that. So the first thing is we pride ourselves on specifically finding a diverse group of content writers and things like that. The second thing is we do a ton of research before we ever move forward with them. One of the things that you will actually get, Maggie, is what's called a mood board or a mood presentation that will actually confirm to you and your team that we do indeed understand your tone of voice, your tonality, your engagement, your knowledge. And we work with some extremely niche organizations. If necessary, we will bring in what's called an SME or a subject matter expert as well. But we make sure, Maggie, before we ever post any content on your behalf, you will be very comfortable with the fact that we can understand your voice and execute that on your behalf. Carolina, is Sales Navigator part of the premium LinkedIn? Also, would you please show how to get Sales Navigator? Unfortunately, no. LinkedIn has caused a ton of confusion, you guys. I'm going to send this link really quick. LinkedIn, the premium is not Sales Navigator. It is not just going to be a simple upgrade to that product. They're two separate things because technically, the premium product no longer exists. So I am sending a link to the chat right now that can take you to Sales Navigator. You are looking for Professional Sales Navigator individual looking to generate leads. You're going to have a ton of options, but I just sent that in there for you, Carolina. You should also, if you use my link, it should actually give you a free month. So no, ma'am, it's not a part of premium. It is a part of this Sales Navigator one that I just sent you, but you do get a free month, and I did just send that. Maggie, will my assistant use my LinkedIn login credentials to run my campaigns? Yes, ma'am, Maggie. We use a password sharing system or app and website called Dashlane. Also, we have a 0% rate of anybody ever getting banned or anything like that. So those are questions that people quite often ask. But yes, ma'am, we do use your assistance. It is password or your login credentials. It is password protected. And no, we have literally never had anyone get banned or have any issues. These are some really good questions, you all. Okay, I have I'll post my email. I'll post that in really quick. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments or anything? Okay, like I said, only last thing, I did schedule and just set up a little bit of time for right after this. Is there anybody that would like to set up a phone call for this afternoon? And then otherwise, we will be wrapping up. I am going to send over the webinar, and I really appreciate everybody's time. But I will just ask, is there anybody that wants to directly set up a meeting right now before we all head off? And you can either raise your hand or you can directly message myself. You give it just a couple more seconds and then well, listen, everyone, I appreciate everyone's time today. I appreciate everyone's questions today. Thank you very much. I look forward to hopefully talking to some of you, answering any questions that we have. Please know we no such thing as a stupid question. We look forward to hearing about it. Give me just a little bit of time and I will have all of this in your inbox as we have discussed today. I really appreciate everyone's time today and I hope everyone has a great day.